Quick note before we start. I will be changing facial avatars for the foreseeable future. Yes, this is kind of what I look like in reality, and I'd like to change things up a little bit. But if you don't like them or have a comment about them, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, we continue with our regularly scheduled programming.
Hey! Sweetie! You're not going anywhere until you answer our quiz question! He's such a sexy man! Just my type!
I'm not that kind of guy!
Question time, sweet cheeks!
Alright, that's just an idea of what we'll be looking at today. Any homophobes need to check out right now, because I'm looking at my list of the top 7 LGBT characters in fiction. To make the list, the character must be a confirmed gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, or some strange combination of the four. No sexually ambiguous characters, or those who are theorized to be gay, lesbian, bisexual, etc., but are never confirmed so. When I say fiction, I mean anything from movies, television, literature, etc. And why the number 7? Because it's my party and I'll cry if I want to. So without further ado, let's begin. Number 7. Cosima from Orphan Black. I would have chosen Tony, who is transsexual, but come on, this is Cosima we're talking about. As one of many, many clones in Orphan Black, Cosima is the brains of the operation and an open lesbian. And though she has a terrible, terrible taste in girlfriends, she is a hopeless romantic that has dated evil scientists and military spies that both plan her downfall. You just can't pick 'em, can you, kid? But the heart wants what the heart wants. Number 6. Poison from Final Fight. So, this one tends to break people's brains. Gentlemen, just look at Poison for a second.
Smile, that girl is poison.
Alright, now that you've got that mental image, Poison, in Japan, is a woman that just so happens to be packing a meat cannon, which she hides very well. However, this just doesn't fly in the United States, so here she is a post-op transsexual. Either way, I hope you enjoy this moment of confused arousal, while you still can. Number 5. Roger from American Dad. You have an orifice, he will probe it. This flamboyant extraterrestrial is into anything and everything. Men, women, children, animals, inanimate objects. I'm not kidding. He's been after Stan, Steve, Haley, Jeff, a checkbook. The list just goes on. And plus it doesn't really help that the guy's fashion sense makes Bruno look like a macho man. And that's saying something. Number 4. Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim. Okay, this is a very, very biased choice. I love Scott Pilgrim, I love his graphic novels, I love the movie, I love anything to do with Scott Pilgrim. But the only reason why his girlfriend is not higher on the list is because there are a lot more significant characters. But, back on topic, Ramona is a swinger for both teams, and she wears it well. She's the heartbreaker that leaves a trail of men and women at her feet, and people would gladly become an evil ex just to have said they've been with her at one point or another. Number 3. Herbert or Janet Garrison from South Park. This teacher in a small redneck mountain town was at one point a homosexual called Herbert. That kicked back with Mr. Slave, who I swear looks like the fundamentalist idea of what a stereotypical homosexual looks like. I suddenly feel the urge to wear ascots and listen to Boy George. Anyway, years later, Herbert cut his Jacobs off and Bob's your uncle. He became Janet, but still with male pattern baldness for some reason. Hey, whatever works for you, man. Or woman. Please don't sue me, feminists. Number 2. North Star from Marvel Comics. Jean-Paul Beaubier, aka North Star, is one of the first openly gay comic book heroes. As a liberal and a nerd, this is awesome. He is a superhero that wears his sexuality on his sleeve, and he was also one of the grooms in the first gay marriage in Marvel Comics. Oh, give me a second. I just love weddings. Okay, okay. Now for a few honorable mentions who didn't quite make the list. Number 1, Ellie, from The Last of Us. As one of the last children in a Mushroom Kingdom zombie apocalypse, one wouldn't know about this unless somebody told you, or you played the DLC. The reason she's number 1 on the list is because she is a great example of how a character's sexuality doesn't exactly define who they are. Ellie is a strong-willed survivor of an apocalypse who just so happens to be attracted to other women. I've always said that characters are the most important part of a story. From my perspective, anyway. And this is a character that Naughty Dog Studios have gotten right. You know, I once had a bisexual friend ask me what my views on lesbians were. Apparently, in HD was not the right answer.